What's up everybody, and thank you for joining me for another video. My name is Whack4863, but you can call me Whack. In today's video, I want to spend a little bit of time going over some noteworthy news and updates that are coming to Nightingale. The first and most exciting is that they are looking at adding an offline mode. Now, they announced this on their Discord. They said, "We've seen a lot of discussion in the recent days around the decision to make Nightingale online only at our early access release. We understand that this can be frustrating for a number of reasons. Our vision for the game since inception was to create an interconnected series of realms with the idea of allowing for cooperative exploration in mind. A universe bigger than a single realm or server. That meant we made a choice early in development between supporting co-op from day one or focusing development on offline mode. Cooperative gameplay associated with having party members across multiple realms was the more technically challenging problem, and therefore the one we chose to tackle first. Looking back on that decision, we misjudged what some of you were looking for in your experience. We are now prioritizing the development of offline mode that we will plan to release as soon as feasible. Keep an eye on our socials and Discord for updates in the coming weeks, alongside with other things that we're working on. Thank you to everyone who stepped into the realms with us so far. The journey has begun, and we look forward to sharing it with you all." A few hours after that, we got another message from them on the Discord that said, "Regarding the announcement above, the offline mode development does mean that we're stopping or deprioritizing regular feature development, updates, quality of life updates, and bug fixes. We understand concerns and are taking into consideration how offline players could potentially affect online players. We will address these concerns in a future update as we lock down details on this new mode." So that's all good news in a way. We're going to see an offline mode come to Nightingale. That's what they're working on developing, and it looks like they're focusing on that hardcore and kind of letting the game marinate a little bit. I don't think that's a bad idea, where they're going to allow the game to just kind of marinate and see where people are going with it, what bugs they're having, what issues they're having, maybe what things should be changed from a much wider audience. But there's also a known issues report over on their Steam page, which talks about a lot of the things that players are experiencing. Some of these things I've experienced myself, like the network errors being desynced from the server when you're trying to transfer servers or going through a portal. That can be an ongoing issue, but it hasn't cropped up so much for me that I would say that I'm gonna stop playing the game or anything like that. This is an early access game. These kinds of things are bound to happen, and the team over at Inflection just needs time to gather that data and put a fix together for these types of things. So just to highlight a few things, they talk about crashes, that it could be a hardware or a software issue, and that you can put a Zendesk ticket in and they'll help you out with that. They go on to talk about players not matchmaking into the closest region. I suppose if you're playing with someone across the world too, that probably comes into play. And I'm not entirely sure how they're approaching that or tackling that, but there's some information there if you want to go over and read it in depth and see what they're talking about. Then they go into network errors, and they say these can present themselves in a few ways, but if you're experiencing these, as in network errors, please check out this article for troubleshooting tips. And if those tips don't solve your issue, you can submit a Zendesk ticket. They go on to talk about the swamp portal not loading for some players, and that's actually in the tutorial. So they are investigating this, but if you've had this error, obviously put in a ticket, or maybe just try restarting from the beginning because the tutorial's not that long, and see if you can rush through and get one to actually spawn. Dying or disconnecting in tutorial realms, obviously, that's a big problem. You may have to start over. I don't know. That's kind of wild. But if you run into that error, again, Zendesk, and in fact, if you're running into any of these issues, I'll just say it now, send a Zendesk ticket and they'll try to get you sorted out. And from my experience with Inflection Studios, they've been really good about listening to me and the community and just adding or changing things to really reflect what the community's asking for. So don't be afraid to put a ticket in, let them know what kind of issues you are running into, and give them feedback over on their Discord so they can make the game better for the entire community. Hotbar items, all shovels as icons. It looks like that's a visual bug, and all you have to do is mouse over the items to reveal the true items. I don't know if they stay as the true items or if they revert back to shovels. That would be a bit of an issue if you had to mouse over them every time to see what they are, because if you're like me, I don't remember where I put things, so I kind of reference the hotbar to say, okay, I have my knife in number 4 or whatever it is, so I can understand how having them all be shovels could be kind of a pain in the butt. The next thing is the infinite essence exploit. Now you can still do this. I tested it today. Savvy users have discovered that you can buy water for less essence than you can sell it back for. Basically not sell it back for, you just extract it for the essence, and it costs 10 to buy a water bottle, and you get 4 of them, and each one of those water bottles gives you 10 essence, so essentially netting you an additional 30 essence if you do this quote-unquote exploit. I personally wouldn't call this an exploit. It's just a infinite loop that was missed in the economy of the game, and so they talk about patching that in a future patch, which is an interesting point because they say right now they're working on the offline mode and that they're not really focusing on hot fixes and bug fixes and everything like that. So this may end up being in the game for quite some time, depending on their development and their fix cycle going forward. So it'll be interesting to see how long that stays in game. Default graphic settings being set to ultra. For some users, our settings are automatically placing them in a higher settings than their system can handle, and occasionally causing crashes before they can get these settings changed down. So if you're having this issue, read that article over there and take a look at how to effectively fix this issue. Twitch drops. They've had a few questions about how to claim the Twitch drops that are currently active for the game. I haven't had any issues. It's a bit cumbersome because you do have to log in on their website. So you can go to playnightingale.com/Twitch drops, which I'll put in the description of this video as well. So you can just click it. But you go over there, you log in with Steam, you log in with Nightingale, and then in the actual game, you go to system and then select the rewards category, and then it's going to have all those Twitch drops in there. You just claim those. And fun fact, you actually claim the item right away. It goes right into your inventory, and then you also get the recipe too. So hopefully that helps some of you find where to get that. They wrap it up by saying they still want feedback. So if you have any feedback to send them, you're experiencing bugs or issues or anything like that, there's a link at the bottom of this post so that you can get over there and do that. And again, the post that I'm reading from is linked in the description of this video if you want to go have a read for yourself. Don't forget to whack the like button on the way out, and let me know in the comment section below what's your favorite part of Nightingale so far. I'd like to thank all my YouTube members for their continued support. Y'all are absolute legends. If you'd like to become a legend, there's a button below this video. Go ahead and click that, and that'll give you all the details about becoming a channel member right here on YouTube.